What's going on, guys? Jacoby Kendrick here, the BJJ Realtor. So just wanted to come at you real quick. I had someone who was watching a couple of videos ask a really good question, and I thought that it would be really good to talk about. So I actually get a lot of questions about this, so just wanted to kind of share my thoughts and what I do whenever it comes to this. So the question is, it actually is Mr. Munoz. He says he's a 42-year-old purple belt. And this was on a video from Master Worlds. And he said, I don't think I'll ever go to Worlds, but I wanted to ask about your mentality and the techniques that you focused on. And so the first thing I'll say is never say never. You never know what you'll do or what you'll end up doing. And then the second thing is mentality. And so my mentality whenever it comes to Jiu Jitsu is I just want to get better every day. So my mentality is I want to get a little bit better every single day that I step on the mats. And so whenever I come in, it depends on what type of class I'm going to. And so for our school, our academy, we have fundamentals classes, we have intermediate classes, advanced classes, and competition classes. And so if lately I've been going to fundamentals, well, I guess I'll say intermediate and advanced classes because we do have a competition coming up in March, which is about 2 months away. But we just had like a really long training camp for all of the tournaments that came up at the end of the year for 2020. So I'm just really just resting, working techniques and doing those things. But my mentality is just to learn every day, the little details. And so for us at our school, we're going over some sweeps. So lasso sweep, spider sweep, de la Hiva, and those things. Those aren't really my games, but I want to learn each detail of those because learning how to sweep someone will also teach you how to defend the sweep as well. And so just to go into a little bit about that, what I mean is I don't do a lot of stand up with the spider guard, but if I can learn how to off balance someone with the spider guard, then I can learn how to defend it. So if I can learn how to sweep somebody with it, I know what position I don't need to be in whenever I'm, defending against that technique. And so, but my mentality is every day to get better and better. And so at those techniques that we have at the school that my sensei is teaching, my goal is to get better and better at those every single day, even though I don't use those. And we're also doing half guard passing as well, which I have a few half guard passes in my arsenal that I usually go to all the time, but there's a little different variations that we're learning that I just want to get good at in case there's something else that I need to go to whenever I go to a competition. So usually I look at things that I need to work on based off what happened in competitions. So if you're not a competitor, you can just use whenever you're rolling those things that you need to get better at rolling. And so for me, I always have a goal in mind whenever I'm going to roll. So in the teaching sessions, I just learn as much as I can. But whenever it comes to rolling, when we're actually going to roll with someone, it depends on what the experience level of the individual that I'm rolling with. And then it also depends on how aggressive they are as well. So if it's a competition class, obviously we're going all out. But if it's just a regular class, advanced, intermediate, depending on my training partner, I'm going to put myself in positions that I know I need to work on. So for instance, if I have a white belt that I'm getting to roll against, I'm probably going to pull guard because I want to work on my guard now. And I'm going to open up, try to do some attacks and work from there. If it's, an upper belt, blue belt, purple belt, if it's another blue belt, I feel really good for myself and where I'm at developmentally. I feel really good passing guard, getting to good positions like side control, getting to the back, but I'm not finishing. And so if I'm going against a purple belt, blue belt, I want to get in a really good position and then I want to try to finish. because they already know how to defend. They already know what's going on, that sort of thing. So that is my goal, is to get into like side control, start attacking from side control and learning how to control so I can get a finish, taking the back and working on the back so I can get a finish. If it's like a black belt or something like that, if I'm rolling with my sensei, I'm going to do everything I can. But with a black belt, for my mentality, I'm working on little wins. And so for me, for instance, my sensei, he usually pulls half guard, and then he's been working his half guard on me whenever we roll with each other. And so for me, a win for me is like he pulls guard and he does not immediately sweep me. So I base out, I get control, I start to try to break grips and then start going from there. And if I can get a little bit of offense going or take him off his game, that's actually a win for me. The other day, just to give you an example, he was teaching in a competition class, my sensei, and he said, if someone pulls guard on you, you never let them close their guard. And so the other day I pulled guard on him and I actually caught him in the closed guard. He didn't come down to his knees. He stood up with me, which is new territory for me, but just closing my guard, getting double sleeve grips that was a win for me. Because just in the class earlier that week, he said, do not let anyone close their guard on you. And so now, moving forward, I'll just try to step and progress from there. Maybe I will try to pull guard, close the guard, and then actually put in a foot for spider guard, or go to the lasso and actually attempt an attack and try to make him defend. And even if he defends the attack, to me, that is a win against my sensei. He's got 30 years of Jiu Jitsu. And so if I can make him defend and then he goes on his attack, that's a win for me. Because normally, if you roll with somebody who's really, really good, they can just put you in whatever position they want, and then they just start attacking and moving on you. And so that's really my mentality when working with definitely higher black belts that are just really seasoned as well. There are some black belts that I can do some pretty good work with, I can survive with, but my sensei, he's just on another level, right? And then the thing I'll say with techniques is I just look, because I'm a competitor, I look at my competitions and I see where I'm having trouble at. And so, like I said, for me, that's how I choose what techniques that I'm going to work on. When I first started out, I just started working on half guard because I always found myself in half guard. And so I was like, if someone passes my guard, I have to recover half guard. If we fall and I take somebody down, I'm usually in half guard. And so I just started most of my work from half guard, getting comfortable in half guard because you feel like you're getting smashed there. And I felt as though if I can feel comfortable in half guard, if I can start, creating space and moving in those areas, then I'm going to develop from there. So I think half guard is a good place to start, in my opinion. And so now, just currently, I'm working on passing half guard. So I like to go to 3/4 mount and then going to mount. And so that's really what I'm working on as far as passing the guard. And then the other technique I'm working on is taking the back. I want to learn how to take the back from anywhere and everywhere, because that is one of the most advantageous positions you can be in. And there's a lot of opportunities to take the back. And so that's one of the others. And then lastly, what I've recently, that has really helped me actually, that I really worked on in the past, probably 6 months or so, was just a Kimura trap. Getting the Kimura from every possible, scenario, from side control, north, south, even when you're in turtle, taking the Kimura trap and like taking the back from there. And so I would just try to get the Kimura and Kimura trap from every single place that I can, on top, on bottom, everywhere. And so once I start focusing on one thing, I try to get really, really good at that one thing and try to put myself in scenarios when I'm rolling to be able to work on the technique that I'm working on. So when you're working with lower belts, it's a little bit easier. When you're working with higher belts, it's a lot harder, right? So that's really all I got. If you have, I'd like to know what you're working on. Let me know what you're working on. So in the comments below, let me know what techniques you're working on and a little bit about your mentality as well. All right, talk to you guys later.